Hello and welcome to the GameShop MythCast, episode number 29. I am your host, the vocal terrorist, Jesse Voctor Rain, the official broadcaster of Mythology GameShop. Today, we're here looking at the manager of Mythology. He is our Red Terran, and his name is Odin. Today he goes up against the Blue Zerg with, as noted, a fantastic name, PapaBigBelly. Yes. I highly encourage fantastic Starcraft 2 names. Now, one of the things I'm doing today is testing out a new encoding procedure. This is going to push this new PC to its limits. So if there's some lag or stuff, if there's problems, please, as always, let me know. And I will fix that for the future, but right now, that's weird. It's already causing my XSplit to lag a little bit behind me, so that's going to put me off. Need to not look at that anymore. Today is, of course, Wednesday. Now, what does that mean to you? What does Wednesday mean to you? Does it mean, oh, there's normally a clan war? Well, there's no clan war today. Does it mean, oh, middle of the week? Kind of boring. Yeah, I understand. But do you know what it means to me? It means there's 2 days until the GameShop Open. That's going to be live on twitch.tv/MythOdin from, I believe, 7 PM European time, 6 PM British time. Might be an hour later than that. But the point is, it's going to be live. It's going to be a ton of fun. There'll be casting by myself and Belnoir, who is fantastic. And we're going to be seeing some of the best players from around the world. Not even lying. Guess who we've got signed up already? Yeah, come on. I want to hear them guesses. I can hear you. I'm listening to you at home, and you are not giving me the correct guesses. Because when I say correct guesses, I mean Robbie G. I mean J Power. I mean Complexities QX motherfucking C. Yes. I get to watch QXC play Starcraft, and I get to talk about it while I do it. Isn't that exciting? Are you hype? Because I am hype, let me tell you. So, we've got both players annoying one another at this point. Odin with the eBay block in the natural, but the Zerg, PapaBigBelly, with that extractor steal. Luckily for him, Odin normally only wants that one gas early on anyway, and he is going to let it finish, which means it will eventually die. But he gets, you know, a nice gas delay. Should Odin have been going for a faster second gas, and also it just allows him to keep an eye on that base without his drone dying for a bit longer. So this eBay as well is going to go down, cancels it very early. So terrible micro there by Odin, but nonetheless his factory's going up, and we do have the expansion CC going down as well. So as we see, a few tips from Nathan coming out here. We can see Odin stealing Nathan's play. Actually, oh no, I was going to suggest that perhaps Nathan was playing on Odin's account, but then I remembered the eBay block and the really early cancelling of it, and yeah, and there's no Reaper, so it can't be Nathan. But nonetheless, SCV's getting slightly confused. But he's going to switch the factory onto the reactor, head into likely Widow Mines, but also potentially Hellions in this early game, and throw it on the third command center. So with that third command center, I'd almost prefer Hellions to Widow Mines, just to give you a bit of extra flexibility in terms of how to defend, and yeah, there we go. So you can put some pressure on, you can take some map control, but as well as that, you just have strong mobility to protect all your bases at once from any early game Zerg bullshit. Meanwhile, the Zerg is getting his expansion down. He's only got the one gas at the moment, but he's continuing to mine from it, which suggests that he's going to go into something else after speed, potentially Banelings, and even throwing down a second gas before that third base, working away on these rocks, but 3 Zerglings will take roughly half a millennium to take it down. Scouts coming in now for the Zerg player shows no command center down on this low ground yet, but we'll see the Hellion and Widowmine, so at least has a good idea of what he's up against here. So we're going to take a quick look. How many workers does Odin have? Okay, he's got 25 workers. Okay, that's not bad. Not bad for this position in the game. Swinecrawler going down for PapaBigBelly just to give him that extra control at home. Should the Hellions be trying anything tricksy? Don't think they will, because once again, This is Odin we're talking about. Not known for his good play. Known, in fact, more for his, shall we say, aroma. And also, I really feel like the name is just completely wrong. Because when I think of, when I think of Dave... Can I call you Dave? I'm going to call you Dave. When I think of Dave, I don't think of Odin. You know, I don't think of old and wise and kind of scary. No, I think of Loki. I think of a pain in the arse. I think of someone who likes to play tricks and be a little bit mean. That's really the sense I get when I think of Odin. And Odin actually going full on mech here. Nonetheless, this third base is going to come under early attack from these links, forcing him to lift off. It's a pain, but it's not too much of a pain. Right now, it's not important to have it so much landed yet, as it is just to have that potential. Really what he's looking for is these 2 gas, though. That's what, with these factories coming out. Unless he just plans to mass Widow Mines, in which case you don't need as much gas. Or in fact just Hellbats, because Hellbats are Hellbats. But otherwise, if he's looking for an actual mech composition, he's going to be needing these 2 gas. He's going to be needing them relatively soon. Zerg player also taking his third base as he's still working on these rocks. Choosing not to go around the other side as well and get some extra surface area. But seriously, this is how long it takes for Lings to kill these rocks. It's a long ass time, and wow, talk about an overreaction for Odin. 1, 2, 3 missile turrets, 4, 5, 6 missile turrets up in the main. None at the third, and only 2 at the expansion. But he's scared of mutas. Now the thing is, there is the spire there, that is that potential. There's also a bailing nest going down. There's an infestation pit coming out. The roach warren is done. The hydra den is somewhere. Here it is. Down at the natural. How much of that does Odin know about? Well, nothing. He knows about the roach warren. So, some incredible scouting there from Odin. This, completely disagree with. Absolutely 100% all day. Forever. Third base planetary fortress, don't like it. Third base should be orbital command. Fourth base can be planetary fortress, but you want those 3 orbital commands first. And even if you're not going to be heavy muling, even if you're looking more at the gas heavy composition, you don't have to worry so much about your minerals. You're still going to want a lot of scans against Zerg. And as we can see, Odin being incredibly supply blocked here at 73 supply, so building 4 supply depots at once at this time. Also getting high-sec auto-tracking, really, really scared of mutas. Like, we're talking about an actual true-to-life phobia at this point. This isn't caution, this is pants-wetting terror. Odin, when he thinks of mutas, he thinks of that flapping, leathery sound, the kind of crack it makes as the leathery covered bones flap back and forth. He hears that noise. He thinks about that noise. He even so much as hears the letter M and thinks it might be the start of the word muta, and that man has to change his pants. This is an Odin fact brought to you by GameShop. PapaBigBelly, meanwhile, continuing to expand, getting down his 4th base, getting some swarm host out, which is always a nice tactic. Has all the tech in the world. Excuse me. And I imagine, with the way he's going, we'll actually just take up to Hive soon so we can get a Great Aspire and an Ultralisk Cavern, because his goal is to have every tech path open to him possible. Then he'll do his best to Neural Parasite in SCV, build a command center so he can just go down the Terran tech path as well. Enduring Locust is also on the way, so he's going to be in a decent setup. We do have some Thors out. Well, we have a Thor out with that the new skin. Well, not new skin, but the legendary skin, I believe it is. We've got Hellbats on the way as well. We've got 1 siege tank because, well, why not build a siege tank? As we know, siege tanks are very effective by themselves. You really just need to get 1 and you can know you'll win the game. And now Odin going to go from here into double star pot. Oh, he's got 2 siege tanks, so he's definitely going to win now. Of course, we do have these Enduring Locusts starting to push out, but the Swarm Host staying relatively immobile at this point. Building up a Hydra Force as well. Looks like what he wants to do is almost do Roach Hydra without Roach, and instead use the Locusts to perform essentially the duty of the roaches, whereby they try and tank all the shots, they try and buffer the units away from the hydras. This can work. It's a very interesting strategy, and the way that really works is, of course, because when you lose the locusts, you're losing them for free. It's less costly than when you're losing your roaches, but it means you can also only attack on cycles. So it's very important you get the groove spines upgrade for the hydras. It's very important that you make sure you're trying to engage as near or as on creep as possible, just so the hydras can move back. If there's anything, if they run into any trouble, they need to be able to get out of there. So now, here come the locusts, the first sign Odin has really seen of them. Now this is going to work really well, because they're going to start to tank these Widowmine shots. It's a long time for the Widowmines to reset. Odin, of course, is going to be using a few more siege tanks in this composition, which I have to say, as much as I dislike him, I really like as just a player in general. I prefer siege tanks. Widowmines can be very useful, but I find siege tanks are just a bit more versatile throughout the game. Nice use of the Overlord creep here, though, by PapaBigBelly. Just to get that creep a bit further out, that will, of course, push backwards and link these two up. Meanwhile, also re-expanding over to the north side of the map and checking to see how many bases Odin has. Of course, Odin does have this base up. These lings will get far enough to see it, so he's going to be well aware of that. No meter attacks ever throughout this game, so complete waste of time building all these missile turrets. Odin, though, using the starports for mech, which is nice. A lot of Banshees coming out, even some Ravens. Raven, you know, Seeker missile, fantastic. Hydras, actually, with Hydras out, that point defense drone is going to be pretty effective as well. And also, you just got the auto turret, I guess. But giving him vision of the creep is going to save scans, which is good, because this is a planetary fortress for some reason that no one knows. Of course, he does have extra orbitals now, so he does have those extra scans, should he want them. And Odin's just going to start out with this little push now. PapaBigBelly's near 200 supply, but of course, no upgrade so far, while Odin is on 1-1 for all but his tiny Bioforce. And right now, Odin doing a decent job at killing these locusts, starting to take a bit of damage. Wouldn't even mind him bringing some SCVs along, just to start healing this. No! Seeker missile though! Oh, I do like that. We've got some spine crawlers coming out from PapaBigBelly. It looks like we're going to have a fairly stable engagement in the center of the map. Odin, with these siege tanks, not going to be able to be that mobile. Not going to be able to move forward too easily. Especially with these swarm hosts here. Continually just pumping out locusts. Now, PapaBigBelly is expanding again. Really just finishing up taking his half of the map. And trying to hold Odin's army back while he does that. Throwing in some roaches here to try and get in and, well, just move command to absolutely nowhere. Does get a tank kill with that, funnily enough. Odin's units actually just killing his own tanks. Meanwhile, Hive is on the way for PapaBigBelly. Do you know what? Ultras could be really effective here. Ultras, even Broodlords. There's not that many Thors about. And the rest of it's very ground-based, so Broodlords here could actually be fantastic. The way I could almost see this going is trying to use the Locusts to zone the army out, and then the Broodlords are coming in, but there's too many Hellbats now. These Swarmhosts are going to have to get away. They're going to absolutely just churn through the Locusts far, far too quickly. Now he pulls back though to keep the last of his Hellbats alive, while he should be making some more. As it is, he's making more siege tanks, getting a couple more Ravens out. I'd like to see him just continue to add just more Hellbats into this. With this many Locusts out, it's just going to make sense to do. As it is though, these Locusts are actually killing a lot. This Spine Crawler not bothering to burrow. Meanwhile, we've got Hydras performing a counter-attack, which is not something you see that often, even with the newfound speed. They're not going to focus down anything, so they're not really going to kill that much. Do kill a Raven, but the Thors will clear them up. Meanwhile, Odin though, well, he's looking a bit less strong in the centre with having to pull those back. Unfortunately, PapaBigBelly not able to capitalise on this. There's too many Widow Mines in there for the mutants to get in and catch those tanks unawares. Nice though, dropping the roaches directly onto the siege tanks. Gets one siege tank kill. And he is slowly but surely whittling down Odin's army supply. And with the amount of bases he has, PapaBigBelly can continue to do this all day long. Eventually, Odin is going to run out. He's doing okay though in keeping this going. He's no minerals left in his main base, but his expansion's still got a fair few. And his third and fourth are looking pretty good at this point. So Odin, I think, set up quite well for now. He's got a fair few minutes to break through this, but of course if he doesn't, if he's then unable to move out and secure more mineral patches, then he's going to find himself in trouble. There's a lot of shots going on there, most of them on units that don't matter. Nice Seeker Missile over on this side, but not getting that much done so far. Odin just advancing ever so slowly. That's what he has to do, he just has to make sure he breaks this contain eventually. Seeker Missile comes in, does finish off another Swarm Hose, nice auto turret as well. Just any little bits of damage Odin can do are going to prove to be effective because it allows him to just edge forward ever so slowly. As we can see though, PapaBigBelly with minerals out the arse. He just has so many options for where to harvest them that he's going to be able to harvest them for a long time to come. As we can see, he's got a really big bank. Odin, meanwhile, is, you know, he's keeping it low. Mostly this gas though. This is what I'm talking about with this mech army. That gas is going to get low, it's going to stay low. What upgrades are we on now? We're only on 2-1 upgrades so far though, and well, I'm not a big fan of that. Meanwhile, though, PapaBigBelly not really churning out the upgrades. He's finally going to hit towards 2-2, but it's very, very late. Odin, meanwhile, not continuing on with the upgrades. Nice Swarm Host drop here at the back though. He's getting something done. With the missile turrets, well, these can be detected, but they're just out of range of the Planetary Fortress from the looks of it, which is a real shame. Meanwhile, the Brood Lords are out, but they are about to get Seeker Missile! Kaboom! But they're doing good damage to the siege tanks. More and more Seeker Missiles coming in though, and there's not enough there to defend them, so they can actually just get attacked like that and taken down, which is not what you want as a player. You want to be throwing away your cheap units and keeping your expensive units alive. PapaBigBelly right now able to do it, still keeping at 200 supply, but look at this, remaking 32 lings, trying to get Swarm Hosts out, more Corruptors, trying to get some of everything, when really you just want to focus. Right now, well, these two Swarm Hosts are still here, and it looks like a Viking is going to be the one to finish them off and lift off before the Locusts do take him out. So, nice work there from Odin. Just making sure that last little bit of harassment is cleaned up. Meanwhile, PapaBigBelly taking this base. Odin also wants to take it, so there's going to have to be an engagement up here at some point. PapaBigBelly already moving into a good position to do that. Decided it's not time anymore to continue pushing headlong here, but instead to come around the back, perhaps to where he might be just a bit less defended. Odin has to be aware of that. He should see those Overlords hanging about, spreading creep. And it should be time for him to turn around. I don't know about this continuing to push on in, because he's going to find himself out of position. And as we can see, the Locusts spawning, coming in, Broodlords from behind as well. Now the Thors are coming back, but they're getting caught by their own SCVs. So, boom, one Planetary Fortress already down before Odin could even respond. So PapaBigBelly once again in a really good position. Nice scan, lets him see exactly what army composition is up there. And the one thing hurting PapaBigBelly right now is just that this army seems kind of unfocused. There's a lot of units in here that aren't really that useful anymore. I'm not a big fan of these lings. There's too many Winter Mines, there's too many everythings. Odin with some huge Seeker Missile shots though. Wow! Cleaning up those Swarm Hosts, forcing PapaBigBelly to get out of there. Now is the point I'd really like to see PapaBigBelly switch over to Ultras, and switch over fast. Does he have an Ultra Cavern? He really should. At one point, he just had so much going for him. He's even got 3 Evo Chambers. He's getting the 3-3, so no Ultra Cavern yet, but it would be a wise thing to put down, just to have that switch available to him, though. As it is going to continue going into the flying units, getting some meters out, which is strange, because again, with no flyer upgrades, they're just going to get torn apart by these Thors, by the Vikings, by the Ravens. You really want units that are going to be able to deal with that, and they're going to be your upgraded units, which is why I'm heading more towards a ground army for the Zerg. Things like Ultras, an Ultra Switch, if he catches Odin off guard with it, with the essentially 5-3 upgrades he could have, would be looking very, very strong in the future. Meanwhile though, Odin, over at the top of the map, with this force of Thors, just decided it's time to start clearing up some bases of the Zerg, trying to just start to starve him out. There's a long way to go for that though. There's still this base here, one gas not even mining, and only 2 in the other because he wants minerals more than gas. This base still has a fair few minerals at it left. This base still also has a fair few minerals at left, though not that effectively mining. These lings aren't going to do anything to a planetary fortress. And meanwhile, the Thor Force is continuing its march. At some point, PapaBigBelly is going to have to respond to this, but it's hard to do because he has this static force. It's like Odin, the mech Terran, is outmaneuvering a Zerg. Not the kind of thing you normally expect to see in a game of Starcraft. But this is why we watch the manager play. Because, you know, he's got some wacky strats. He doesn't, you know, he's got a good grasp of the game. I would say our grasp is almost actually about even now, given that we're the same league and the same rank pretty much. Although he plays more than me because he's a total practicing cheat. And we're going to see these Thors tear through the Evo chambers. This base is gone, and Zerg's got to be a little bit worried. He's really just got this massive swarm host to try and deal with the army. Nice trap on those Thors though. They one's going to go down. But again, these Thors just doing so much damage. They are at 2-1 at this point. Odin really wanted him to continue with those upgrades. He is going to get the 3rd weapon out, but the Thors will be taken down. Odin, however, should be in a position where he can remake them well enough. And perhaps now is the time to push out, and that's what Odin's thinking. There's a lot of Seeker missiles going into that Swarm Host army, and that Swarm Host army, well, half of it just disappeared, and the other half of it is badly, grievously injured. Meanwhile, PapaBigBelly is continuing to try and expand now to the south instead of to the north. Also long distance mining from this north position still. So we're still in this kind of stalemate position. You need the player able to inflict serious wounds on the opponent. Odin doing a good job of manoeuvring around or half breaking the contain, but never able to really push through and deal that killing blow. Meanwhile, PapaBigBelly gets himself in good positions, but then is never able to really capitalise on it and push through. And what do we got here? We got ourselves a fusion core for Odin. That's right, you all know the dance. It's the dance of the battlecruiser. But he's even going to need him because these Seeker missiles are devastating these swarm hosts. You heard it here first, guys. Seeker missiles are the counter to swarm hosts. Although, once again, I have to say, I don't agree with this continually massing swarm host in the late game. Do want to see that Ultra Switch come out. That's what I want to see from PapaBigBelly. And he's continuing to not do it, which mystifies me. He's committing to these swarm hosts, which are not doing the job he wants them to do. Even with the 2-2 out. And throwing more Broodlords in. But again, they're kind of functioning the same way. The Broodlords and the swarm hosts. Except the Broodlings don't have the upgrades that that the swarm host locusts have. So, really just a strange tech choice for me. Meanwhile, we do have the first of assumedly many battle cruisers on the way for Odin. Also remaking his Ravens so we can get more and more Seeker missiles out, which again I like, just really, really strong. Meanwhile, Siege Tanks, Thors and Ravens pushing up to this north base, taking a hatchery down with consummate ease, and Odin is starting to pick this Zerg player apart now. His upgrades are finally coming along. They have been very, very slow. We're at 32 minutes. And he is not fully upgraded, which again I don't like, but he does have a nice strong max army. Now the Broodlord's going to try and push through here. He's going to need to get his Ravens back so he can Seeker missile them and kill them because there's not enough anti-air. And again, we're just going to see this come in. One Viking going to start to clear it up, but there are Corruptors there. But this should allow the Ravens to move forward and Seeker missile well. They're going to Seeker missile both of them. In fact, they're going to Seeker missile everything ever. Can the Swarm Host get away in time? The answer is yes. Sadly, yes. But, you know, there's only one Broodlord left here now, so the Broodlords once again proving to be mostly ineffective. I mean, the one thing we can say for Odin, though, is at 200 supply, he's unable to get supply blocks anymore. It's very, very nice. And these Thor skins just completely look ridiculous. They always have done to me. Here come the Seeker missiles again, though. Swarm Host, well, about 4 or 5 go down there. The rest seriously, seriously injured. And again, just not enough anti-air to stop the Ravens moving in and doing that whenever the hell they feel like it. Look at how many Ravens there are. Look at how many Corruptors there are. You can see the difference already. And, well, PapaBigBelly still in a tough position. Of course, remaining max supply, as is Odin, which is leading to these stalemate situations. Again, doing just a little bit of drop harass over here. With this planetary fortress, though, will take it out. There is no range advantage for that Hydra. And we're going to see more and more battle cruisers now joining this army, because with their ability to target air or ground, they're just going to come up as really, really strong against whatever PapaBigBelly's choosing to do now. Now, one thing, once this attack is over, we're actually seeing some Broodlord harassment at the back of the mineral line here, which is very, very nice from PapaBigBelly. Nice use of them, since he wasn't really able to make use of them in the main army. Now, the one thing is, as I was about to point out, Odin has very little mining left. As we see, this is pretty much the only mining base he's got now. And at this point, not really in need of it, as we can see up here with the 11.2k minerals and 1.6k gas. But this could become a problem later in the game. As all those Corruptors die to Seeker missiles, this is where we get to see how useless Corruptors are as anti-air. When you have just mass Ravens and throw in some battle cruisers and they just die horrifically. Battle cruisers going to come out here, start to deal with these Broodlords. It's going to take them a little while. They've only got the +1 attack upgrade so far, but of course still no upgrades at all for the Broodlords. More Seeker missiles coming in. The Swarm hosts have pulled back in time. No, one hit does go off. Luckily for him though, only the one hit, because if all of those had gone off, those were dead. Yamato Cannon on the way. Behemoth Reactor also queued up to follow it. And I feel like Odin is eventually going to break out of this contain, but this is mostly what we've got here. This is what we're looking at. Is just, once again, this kind of attempted contain that has failed miserably now, because Odin has broken it on this side. More Seeker missiles coming in. Wow, that's a lot of explosions. So, before, the contain was kind of across here, and this was stopping Odin from taking this base, it was stopping him from coming up here. But now with the contain being just on this gap, Odin's able to expand up to here. He's able to theoretically take this base as well, should he deign to do so in the near future. And give himself more and more options for remaking armies. Meanwhile, the Zerg player is also down to just 2 mining bases. Again, both players with a sufficiently large bank of money at this time, but that will not last forever. And with that will start to come problems for the both of them. But with a more cost-efficient army, I would say that Odin should come out of that on top. Especially since he still has the option of one more base, should he be able to take it. But now comes a huge engagement. We're seeing some decent neural parasites go down, but Seeker Missile's going to drive the army away. Nice blinding cloud. Is that a blinding cloud or a corruption? That's a corruption. There are no Vipers, in fact. So, good corruption on that battle cruiser, but it's not going to be enough, these corruptions. I tell you what, Vipers would not have been a bad choice against some of this army. You know, a couple of blinding clouds, a couple of abductions. Could have seen something decent happen, maybe in conjunction once again with Ultralisks. That is the elephant in the room. Excuse me, is the complete lack of Ultralisks. Well, the elephant in the room is myself. You don't have to be mean to myself as well as to Odin, otherwise he'll probably sack me. And then how would I make all this glorious esports money? Yep, that esports money. So, 2-3 upgrades now on the way for the battle cruisers. There's really nothing left to say. This is the kind of time when I wish I had a co-caster, because all I can do is describe the stuff that's going on. We're just waiting for this one pivotal engagement to occur. We do have the Zerg trying to take another base up here, but it's all about this engagement. Some decent corruptions going down, but like I said, Odin with what is really a more cost-efficient army, and PapaBigBelly unable to remake his as well as he'd like. There's a lot of Corruptors coming out that aren't going to be as useful with so many Thors, so many Ravens. Excuse me. Spore Crawlers also going down, and Odin keeping his army supply very, very high with that huge bank. Still able to push through here, and this could be the final push of the game. Actually, if he just came down here and took this base out, the Zerg would be in trouble, because this has not got that much left at it. Looks like that's the way he wants to head as well. He is going to send his Ravens there. Can you Seeker Missile a building? Genuine question. Odin, answer this question for me. Can you seek a missile a building? I'd love to see that happen. As it is not even needed though. I mean, because the hatchery's not going to run away, is it? But that hatchery has gone down. PapaBigBelly in some serious trouble now. His supply, as we can see, is plummeting. And he's going to be starting to be starved of gas. Look at this, his gas income now so low. He only has 2 drones there and a few more drones here left harvesting gas. He's trying a huge counterattack at this planetary fortress. These mules need to be repairing it. Odin, these mules need to be repairing it just to hold them off for as long as possible. And there comes the repair. And this planetary fortress is going to stay alive while Odin gets back and clears up this army. That's really all he has left to do in this game. Once this army is gone, PapaBigBelly is going to struggle to remake anything that can match the might of the Odin Mythology mech army. Here come the Seeker missiles! And there the Broodlords go. GG from PapaBigBelly! And congratulations to Mythology's Odin for actually winning a ladder game and nearly getting to Diamond before me. But don't worry, Odin, I'm coming for you. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to tune in to the Game Shop Open this Friday on Twitch TV /MythOdin with myself and Bell Noir.